Hey, welcome to another Hangout on Air with the Barkercast. I'm José.
Hey, I'm Ryan. I waved with two
Eh.
hands.
So today we're doing this special little Kickstarter Hangout, and welcome.
Yeah. We've only got, as we're recording this, we've only got 4 days left. And so, just to kind of kick off the beginning of the end here, we want to kind of go over what's available, what's left, where we're at, that kind of stuff.
So we broke the $2,000 barrier, and we're working harder than ever to prepare all sorts of interesting episodes for you guys. I've been writing a few articles for the blog. You may have seen recently, I'm trying to make up for Rob's absence because Rob was very, very prolific. He was the news guy for our podcast. And so now we have to kind of make up for the blog posts on the website. So I've been writing a few articles to make up for it, and it's made me go deeper into a few aspects of Clive Barker's career that I never did before. For example, on part one of my series, Road to the Scarlet Gospels, which is going to go up today, I've been going through a lot of the revelatory interviews on clivebarker.info. And I've been looking up other confessions and several interviews ranging from 1993 to 2013, which is it's 20 years of Clive Barker's career, which was how long we had to wait for another collection of, for the Scarlet Gospels, which started out really differently. It was going to be a collection of stories and then ended up becoming a novella. But it's amazing how much a project can change it evolves. Anyway, I guess you'll have a chance to read that when I post it on the blog.
You can always kind of tell what José is working on by watching his Facebook page.
That's true.
He'll kind of deep dive into something and go, "Oh, look at this cool thing I just found." One other thing I was going to bring up here, we've been late last night. We were kind of mapping out the episodes that we're going to be doing for the year, and it's like every time I thought, okay, I think I've got this all set up. Somebody, I swear to God, this happened two times yesterday. Somebody from Clive Barker's office would email us something, some new thing that we're gonna have early access to, and it's like, okay, where is that gonna fit in now on our? Because we got like Duels of Blood in March, and so trying to squeeze these things in, but we've got half the year already kind of mapped out.
Yeah, it's exciting, but it's great that we're getting more and more connected with Seraphim, because like you guys must have seen that deluxe Thief of Always, which unfortunately I can't show because I'm packing my house, so my office is getting pretty packed. And because I'm moving to a new house that we're buying, and
well, here it is.
Yeah.
I can show it here really quick. The deluxe Thief of Always. We were lucky enough to get a publisher's copy for review for the Clive Barker podcast. So José and I each got one. This is a gorgeous edition, and we won't go into all the details of what's inside it because we're going to be recording an episode here pretty soon about that. But super awesome. Yeah.
This was my little paperback that I read, over the years. Well, actually, this is my work copy that I got for a penny off of Amazon. But with a beautiful Kirk Reinhardt.
You're bending the spine.
It's okay. This was a cent. I have another one that's much better than this one.
Oh my God.
So Thief of Always, 25th anniversary. It's been really fun. And today we shared a few more posts from Clive Barker's page about it. And like Ryan said, stay tuned for that episode where we're going to discuss the 25th anniversary.
And since there have been 2 Clive Barker releases in the month of February, we're also, our episode's going to be called The Great Gray Beast of February, because we also have this great gray beast right here, the Infernal Parade. So I've just started, we did an episode where we sort of briefly talked about Infernal Parade. Gosh, was that our first or second year, maybe?
I think it was maybe on our first year.
Yeah, it was about rare stories. So this is not quite as rare a story anymore because it's been published in its own book and it's not just included in the toys. So looking forward to that also.
Mm-hmm. And something that's very interesting, and we never really got into it that much, but we would like to tackle this one this year. It's the Clive Barker's A through Z of Horror, which was a book edited by Stephen Jones, full of artwork by Clive Barker. You know, he decorated every single chapter with one of his paintings. And there was a TV show on BBC Two that came out on TV in 1997. So we would like to, that's one of the things that we're going to discuss on this year's lineup. So stay tuned for that.
And it's good. It's a good 5-part episode we're going to be doing, because you would think like typically a book we can do in one episode, but here we're doing a book and a TV series, and there's different things for every letter of the alphabet. So we're going to really kind of break it down over the course of March and pair it off, like we said, with the Duels of Blood website stuff happenings.
That's right. And we'll see. We'll see if we get anyone to join us and be a guest, or if we can't, we'll just do the two of us. So that's going to be fine. Last year we had Pyramid Gallery join us, and we haven't approached them yet about it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and last year I think we had a lot of unused Hellraiser scripts that we talked about in addition to the Duels of Blood, because Duels of Blood, as you go along, there's less and less to talk about as the winners get narrowed. It's like a tournament, so the winners get narrowed down, and there are fewer characters to talk about in matchups and things. So on to the Kickstarter, though. We are where we are now. Our goal was $500, and that was basically just to keep going for another year, and that would pay the existing, pay the bills that we already have. Without any kind of upgrades or anything like that. And at this point, where are we at? $2,024. So we've reached all of our goals and stretch goals. So the first one, of course, was we paid the bills and we agreed to do an episode about Sacrament. And it looks like, based on the schedule we've got and all the releases and stuff, that probably won't be happening until June.
Right. Well, that'll give us time to read the book again and take our notes, because it's not a small book.
Yeah, and I love that one. I always think about the quote, "Living and dying, we feed the fire."
That's a pretty good quote. I like Mr. Fox.
Yeah. And Galilee, we'll be doing an episode on Galilee and one on Mr. Be Gone. Hellraiser Judgment commentary. Of course, at this point, I had assumed that we would know the release date of the movie by now, but we don't. So, we got to keep a little bit flexible on that one. We don't really know when we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, there's been a podcast with Gary Tunnicliffe recently, which is, I think it was supposed to be 60 minutes with Gary Tunnicliffe, but it's like 3 hours. And, and in that podcast, he goes in depth about his career and stuff, and he talks about Hellraiser Judgment, saying that it's not his fault, and people are going to beat him up on the way home, and that there's been some messing around with his movie. So that's kind of a red flag there. But let's see if we'll do the commentary. If it's really, really good, then we'll do an episode about it. But
otherwise just the commentary. Yeah. Oh, that's one thing we were kind of discussing back and forth a little bit, and we didn't really come to an answer. Would it be better for us to watch it for the first time doing our audio commentary, or is it better if we're a little prepared and we watch it first and take some of the shock away? I don't,
I think that's a really clever suggestion. I think that's really interesting for us to save ourselves for, reaction videos are huge on the internet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people will watch a trailer and they pretend or they actually do it, I guess. But they pretend to be really shocked. Oh my God, it's the Millennium Falcon in the Force Awakens trailer. And I guess we could try doing a little bit of that by saving ourselves.
We need to have the sound up a little bit, because with these audio commentaries, I've had the sound down so low that, because there are movies that we've seen a lot of times.
Yeah, you raise a good point. We don't want to spoil the whole movie with our commentary track while it plays in the background. So, I guess we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. If we have to watch it first and then do the commentary, that's fine too.
Yeah, let us know, on Facebook or the comments here or, wherever, if what you think, which would be better. Is
I
it
mean,
better if
we
we watch it for the first time, or is it better if we're a little more prepared and we can talk about our thoughts a little more coherently?
yeah. Luckily, we could even do a video hangout watching the movie, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was just thinking about that because when we started this broadcast, it said video hangouts can have a maximum of 8 hours of video. So
Yeah.
I know it's probably just going to be maybe a. I'm guessing it's going to be between 90 to 100 minutes. I'm not sure. I have no reason to think so, but I don't think it's going to be much bigger than that judgment. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also made me remember the first time I watched Hellraiser Revelations. My face was turning red, and I was just punching the arm of my chair the whole time.
That could be
So,
entertaining.
well, it maybe not in audio. I don't know. I don't know.
Right on.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how. Yeah, I mean, I know it'll be an authentic reaction, but I don't know how entertaining it will be.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
More books that we're going to try to tackle this year is going to be Mr. Be Gone, which I remember when it came out. I was one of the first people in my country to have a copy, thanks to my friend Maureen. She got a copy signed and sent to me in Portugal, like maybe a week or two before it was out. And she went to see Clive Barker, and he signed the copy and dedicated it to José for me. So that was awesome. And then I listened to the Doug Bradley audiobook, and
Yeah.
it's really awesome. It's really good. So I'm looking forward to that one. Although it gets a little repetitive, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to dive back into Mr. Be Gone.
Yeah. Burn this book, but
I
don't.
wonder if anybody has ever done a YouTube video burning a copy of the book.
Yeah, they could burn it while Doug Bradley's audio is playing in the background.
Yeah.
So then we'll do an episode about Cold Heart Canyon, which I believe I only read when it first came out. I don't think I read it a second time. And Nightbreed Epic Comics. So the run of 20 comics from Marvel Epic.
Right. That had a part of that run was written by Nicholas Vince. So unfortunately, it was the part of the run that was leading to the cancellation. But I mean, there's that phone book like release, right, that came out recently with all those. It's like 2 or 3 volumes of it. That's all the Marvel Epic comics of Nightbreed from the 90s were released in like these big
Nightbreed Archive, I think it was called.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was trying to talk about. Yeah. So I have the original run, so I'm going to be reading those issues again. It's going to be cool to see where they were trying to push the mythology into different directions, and they went some strange places on that comic book.
Yeah.
And they even did something I'm really tickled by, which is they connected one piece of Clive Barker's fiction with another, seemingly unrelated, like Nightbreed with Rawhead Rex, and then they did it also with Hellraiser on Jihad. So should we also do Jihad or just?
Oh yeah, I think of it more as part of because Nightbreed had a long continuing story. So I think of it more as part of the Nightbreed timeline. I guess just have to make sure we get them in the right order. Because there's some big things happen in the Nightbreed world there. I mean, I guess in Hellraiser too, right? Because like those Cenobites, some Cenobites get killed that were main Cenobite characters in the Hellraiser comics too.
Yeah,
and some big things happen with Cabal and that kind of changed the course of the comic series.
We've delivered one of our first Kickstarter goals, actually, even before the campaign ended, which is we did the Hakelstale commentary, and I hope you guys have had a chance to listen to that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we the next one, of course, we just talked about how we're going to be doing the Clive Barker's A to Z of horror, and then we've got Valerie on the Stairs audio commentary we'll be doing also. So there aren't as many audio commentaries this year because these are mainly the ones we didn't think of last year. But the big one. This is the thing that you can still get, and people are still. This is the thing we've had the most orders on is our hardcover book. So we will be. I don't know if this is how much work this is going to be. It seems like maybe we took on a lot, but we're going to be putting together a hardcover interview book.
Yeah. So again, the book will feature a cover by Clive Barker, and it's going to be subtitled "Occupy Midian," right? And occupy or occupying Midian? I don't know. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah. That's a good question.
The sections inside will be the interviews will be abridged. They'll be separated by topic to save space. And we're hard at work transcribing episodes. And Ryan's even found a way to put his Amiga computer to work.
Yeah. That particular keyboard is where I came into my own in typing, and that's I can type the fastest on that. So I've just set up a word processor on the Amiga, and then I listen on my phone, and I kind of go at it. The first one I started transcribing already actually is probably the hardest episode that we have, because of all the background noise. It was the one we did at Mad Monster Party, which I have to apologize because that's almost unlistenable. I forgot how terrible it was. I think I wasn't using the microphone right. I think I had the microphones pointing in the wrong direction or something, so that you could hear the people walking around in the convention. Yes, that one.
Funny bit of trivia. This is your actual microphone that
Yes.
I thought I had lost once, and I bought another one, and now we have one of each.
So actually, José's holding up that one the actual one that I used for that interview.
It's a Zoom H2.
Yeah. So the weird thing about that microphone is it's got microphones in the front and the back, so you can set it to record from the front or from the back, or all four, and then it makes two separate recordings. And I don't know which one I had it set on, but I think whatever it was wrong. And then also, like Richard Mall, the guy from Night Court.
Yeah.
He had a puppet of himself, and he was like making it scream at people that were walking by, and he was just right across from us.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
I saw him in a movie recently called Metal Storm: The Destruction.
Oh yeah, Jared Sin.
Jared Sin. Yeah.
For some reason, I used to own that. My dad bought that on Laserdisc when I was a kid.
Oh
so
wow!
I
thought it was great. It had great effects. The story is okay, but the makeup effects are really amazing.
It was sort of like a Mad Max and bunch of stuff all thrown together.
Yeah. I was telling that to Sarah when I was watching. I was like, this is kind of like a Mad Max meets, I don't know, Prisoners of the Lost Universe or something like that.
Yeah, I had that one, and You're the Hunter from the Future. And I kind of wonder if my dad got those out of a bargain bin or something somewhere. Probably. But yeah, I used to watch those over and over and over again. You're the Hunter from the Future had dinosaurs in it.
I'm really surprised that they were on Laserdisc. I would imagine those didn't make the jump to laser, but yeah.
Oh, almost everything was on Laserdisc in the 80s.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So also one of the things that we succeeded in the campaign was you guys helped us get a mobile app. So what's that about, Ryan?
Yeah. So, from what I've been learning is that the listenership jumps way up if you have a mobile app, and I never paid much attention because I listened to all my podcasts just on the Apple Podcast app, that came with the phone. But having a special app, I think, will be kind of neat. And the costs of that mainly have to do with I have to upgrade the plan with Libsyn. I have to upgrade. I have to pay an additional $10 a month, and then there's one-time fees, and it all for the year it all adds up to about $350 that it adds on to our costs. And that's presuming that we'll be able to do this again next year, which I don't see why not. But yeah, I think it'll be available on the iTunes Store and the Google Play Store. Is that what it's called, right? Yeah. Android App Store.
Google Play, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I've had radio stations that have like little apps on the store, and sometimes there was a college radio that I used to listen to a lot in California that was really close to where I lived, and they had a little app. It was called KFJC, and I have it on my phone still, so I listen to it all the time.
And I had like the Nights with Alice Cooper app where I could listen to his radio show. It's kind of nice to have a sort of a dedicated one, and it'll be neat to see like how many people get it and how many people download it. It'll be super handy for people that maybe don't otherwise listen to podcasts. And if you really, really want it on some other format, I guess would be Windows Mobile or something. Would it maybe let us know? But it seems like Windows Mobile is kind of dying, and I don't know that
a big ecosystem around it in terms of like apps.
Yeah, my impression of it is that there aren't that many phones that have Windows Mobile anymore. That even like the carriers that used to have it have switched over to Android. But if that's not the case, or if there's a big contingency of people that want it on Windows Mobile, let us know, and we might be able to do that too.
All right, cool.
And of course, Duels of Blood. We talked about that. If you remember from last year, we had kind of a March Madness style tournament where people vote on their favorite characters facing off against each other, and then it narrows and narrows and narrows until it gets down to the final two, and then we figure out who the winner was. And last year's winner was Julia Cotton. Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing prep on that. We were talking about it last night. We asked you if you wanted more, and you said yes. Yeah. So with some of the rounds reaching over 5,000, votes, I'm sure this year will be another exciting round of episodes that we'll be pairing again with the discussion / review of the book and series Clive Barker's A through Z of Horror. I hope some of you out there own a copy of that book at least, and the TV show if possible. If not, I think. Don't worry, it shows up on YouTube all the time. So we may be able to gather a playlist for you guys to watch along with us. So it's very informative. It's very 90s. Yeah. It's almost an education in horror that spans across several categories, not just cinema, but music, art, popular culture.
Yeah.
But we're going to be working hard on finding more 64 characters to put in the Duels of Blood 2, and maybe some will have to be repeats, but we'll try to find new ones.
Well, Julia is the Wicked Queen, so she's out for this year. She'll just be presiding over the tournament, and
yes.
We'll see what happens. I think a lot of who wins also depends on the initial pair-ups, right? I mean, I think that Chatterer would have made it a lot farther if he hadn't been paired up against Pinhead at the start.
Oh yeah, sure. Pinhead was the great annihilator until I forgot who Pinhead lost against, but it's all up on duelsofblood.com if you guys want to check out the results.
Yep, and pretty soon I'll be reworking that site. Oh. Excuse me. Having a light in my eyes makes me sneeze. But pretty soon I'll be reworking that site and putting that stuff all in a check out last year's Duels of Blood so that we can prepare for the new one.
Yeah, and we got a lot of graphic work done, so that saves time.
Yeah,
and we can prepare because last year we kind of did it a little like spur of the moment thing, and so we were kind of learning our way through how to work it. But now we know, so it's going to be super easy, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
So what backer rewards are left for our Kickstarter? I guess the first one is the T-shirt. And so you can see José and I are wearing the T-shirt from last year.
Yeah.
Clive Barker podcast. I love this shirt. And I think that our T-shirt this year may have been a little overshadowed by the prospect of our book. And, the way Kickstarter works, it's not so easy to combine rewards. So we've been selling a lot more of the books, and so far we've only sold one T-shirt. So,
no, just one T-shirt.
Yeah,
well, that's one for you, one for me, one for Joey, and one for the listener who bought the T-shirt.
Yeah.
So please buy more T-shirts. They're really nice. I spent a lot of time doing them.
Yeah,
and making the work for it, and all the graphic design that went into it. It took hours and hours of work, and the more we make, the cheaper they are. So if you guys don't get them or you don't like them, then I guess next year we may not even have one.
Yeah. Can you show the design for the
Yes,
t-shirt?
absolutely. I got it right here. It's going to be sand colored, and this is what the design is going to look like.
And Jose made that design, and it was inspired by a dream that Rob told us about, that he had of a man coming up on an island, and there was an eyeball looking at him. I think was that
three eyeballs
three
looking
eyes
down at
yeah.
him. So yeah, and that little man in the boat is actually a shape I took out from Vesalius's anatomy book, which is a big inspiration for like Frank and the short movie The Forbidden that Clive did when he was young. And so I used some elements like that. I tried making it more something that would be like a nautical kind of theme, like an island and a boat. And I apply that cool woodcut effect on it and all that. So I like it. I love it. I'm going to get one copy. So I hope more people more people can buy more copies of it. If not, we can try making it available during the rest of the year and see if anybody wants to buy them to help support us throughout the year. But if this one doesn't really make it, I'm not sure if we should make another one next year.
And the other thing that I want to remind people, so I know that you may have already picked a reward, but if you just add, say, $30 more to your order, just send us a message or something and say, hey, I want the t-shirt also. And we'll put that in. I've been keeping really good notes of what the backers want, and we've had other backers have combined things, and it's totally okay. So if you wanna add a t-shirt to your order, say, yeah, I really wanted a t-shirt, but I already got this other thing. That's okay. Just increase your pledge and send us a note.
Right on.
And we'll do it. Because it'll help us out too if you get t-shirts, because right now the one t-shirt order is going to be a very expensive t-shirt. So what was the next one? We've got, of course, the interview book. So this is exciting. One thing we talked a little bit about, but I don't know if we talked about it that much on the podcast. We have an original sketch that's never been seen before by Clive Barker that will be used for our wraparound cover for this book.
That's right. It's a picture of Lude's father. Lude was the demon Lude from Nightbreed, and I think it's an excellent cover to go with something that's going to be focused on Occupy Midian and Nightbreed. So,
and Lude was sort of like a demigod, or he was his father was a satyr and his mother was a human.
Yeah, I think he was a nun.
Yeah.
So
so then Lude's father was pure satyr, and that's what we'll have on the cover there, and it's a really cool drawing.
Yeah, it's like if you have the Nightbreed Chronicles book on Lude's origin story, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it says something like, when asked if the demon had a hand in his making, Lude would often laugh and say yes, and a dick too. That's how. And then apparently Lude would have met his mother in a convent later in his life and made her laugh so much that it cracked the convent bell. So it's these little things that Clive Barker comes up with are just so amazing. It's little mythologies for characters that are just great.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Imagica collectible cards. So these are all of the extras that I have left, and there are still a lot. We've had, I think, four people that chose this for an option to help us out, and there are lots more. So there's a spreadsheet on our site and a link on the Kickstarter page to follow to go to the spreadsheet, and I've been keeping that updated as people make their orders. Mm-hmm. So you can see what cards are left, what you want to get. I've been telling people, I reserve the right to throw in more cards if you order some. So I will probably be doing that at this point.
It's a great chance for anybody who's looking to complete their collection. I mean, you have plenty of repeats.
Yeah. Yep, and an entire box full of common cards too. So I'll be probably throwing some of those in as well.
We still have some posters available. We have an Imaginer 1 promo poster.
Here's the Imaginer 1 poster. Whoa, okay. These come rolled up in a tube, so it's. But this is the Imaginer 1 poster, and there aren't very many of these left, I don't think. Now that Imaginer 1 is like 3 or 4 years ago.
And Century Guild ended up donating some posters to our campaign. So here's a Imaginer 2 promotional poster.
Oh wow!
Is this showing up the right way or mirrored?
Yeah, no, it looks good to me. I can read it.
Text by Thomas Ngoven and Phil and Sarah Stokes, Volume 2 available now.
Yeah.
Imaginer really is the finest book to ever carry my name, Clive Barker. So I have to figure out how we're going to send these because they're not that big, but I don't know if they can be rolled into a tube. I think they could be rolled longitudinally.
Yeah, or like a stiff-backed flat envelope or something.
Yeah, it'll have to be a really big envelope. And this is the Do Not Trust the Smiling World.
And that's also definitely our most popular poster. We've been selling a bunch of those, but there's still a lot more. So
it's really good. It's really good. And I found a way that I can roll it up like this.
Oh, okay. And you won't find that poster anywhere else. I think we have them all, right? It sure seems that way.
Yeah, I think we got the entire run. So we're selling 100 of these, and we'll keep these available. Probably won't be able to get them anywhere else except maybe from Century Guild, but I think they sent us their stock.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's 2 posters that are pretty cool. They would look great framed on a Clive Barker fan's wall, especially this one. I mean, this one is just so beautiful. You have the wolf wearing a mask, and it just comes out of children's stories. It's the big bad wolf trying to trick Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
And that says, "Do not trust the smiling world, my child. It hides a hunger that will be your unmaking if you look away for but a moment." So there it is. Sometimes it's hard to read Clive Barker's handwriting.
Yeah. Tell that to like Ben Mears and Mark Miller. Yeah. They've been transcribing. I think Mark Miller did a huge bulk of the work of transcribing the Scarlet Gospels out of 2,000 pages of handwritten notes.
Yes, and then Aberrat 3 as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, we also have Choose a Topic for the podcast, which at this rate, we might be able to fit them in, actually, in before then, but yeah, choose a topic for the podcast. So in the past, we had 3 people choose that, and 2 of them became guests on the show, and Don Bertram was one of them. So we had a really good talk about Clive Barker's art and memories of Clive Barker with Don Bertram, and we had probably one of my favorite episodes about Imagica with Ben Warren last year. So both of those were really good.
Yeah, and it's always great because Don Bertram has just this year, which is amazing. Thank you so much, Don, for continuing to support us. And talking to you was a very humbling experience as a Clive Barker fan, because I thought I knew a lot of stuff. But then when we started talking, I realized, oh, no, I don't know almost anything. Yeah. Like, because, Don's a guy who's been to Clive Barker's house. He's had conversations with Clive Barker. He's been to a whole enormous number of exhibits, and even has artwork and stuff. So and the work that he does is amazing, because he's also an artist in his own right, and he has that Celebrate Imagination program, which helps children who are suffering from cancer.
Yeah. So we really appreciate that, and we have that. We'll be talking about that again for this year, and as a sponsored. Which it's really nice when you have a sponsor that's so cool, that you can kind of get behind. I think last year we were joking around about that we had this opened up, that advertising on 6 episodes or 12 episodes. What do we do if it's like porn or something? We
would have to reserve the rights to, and I guess not accept things that would be potentially embarrassing or illegal on our show.
Yeah. Or if it's something that you don't get behind, then I guess you just say you make your own ad, and we'll just stick it on there. I don't know.
Yeah, but luckily Don Bertram is an amazing person, and he's doing this Celebrate Imagination with the Texas Children's Hospital. So it's a great way to support a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, thank you, Don. Again, we really appreciate that. So advertising, we have 6-episode package or 12-episode package in there. Still some of those available. And we have 4 days left. Like we said, this will end on February 19th at 9:53 a.m. Alaska time. So if you probably don't know what Alaska time is, it's 1 hour earlier than Pacific time. So right now it's almost 10 o'clock Alaska time. For José, it's almost 11 o'clock in Arizona.
Noon.
Because they're like Pacific time, but they don't do the daylight savings. So that's all. Yeah, scheduling is really fun. Especially when we have guests in England and they have daylight savings time, but they do it on a different day than in the United States. Or like one time we had somebody from Australia, and they completely missed the episode because of trying to figure out time zones.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, luckily they sent us like a video file that we added to the podcast.
yeah. But time zones are fun. But anyway, 9. So basically, Sunday morning of the 19th is when this is going to run out of time, and and then that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, you can check the time on the campaign. I think it adjusts it for wherever you are looking at it. So 4 days, people, come on. Yeah. We gotta sell more books. We gotta sell more T-shirts, and please support us. And we thank you so much.
Yeah, and again, just we're super casual about this. Just add some money, send us a note, and tell us what you want to do, and we can probably accommodate you and combine things.
Yeah, and also it's not like if our campaign was $500 and we get $2,000. It's not that we're going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to cover my bed with money. No, because we have to deliver on the rewards. So the more rewards we sell, the less margin of error we have, because obviously, these books are going to be expensive. This T-shirt is going to be expensive. And the more we sell, the cheaper they get. So the more we can add to the little pile that would be like, okay, now we have a little bit of pocket money for our podcast, so we can maybe buy this release, or maybe, improve a microphone, or maybe this or that. But most of it's going to be pretty much accounted for. And Kickstarter takes almost a third of your campaign money anyway.
Yeah. So. And this year, last year I shipped everything. And so combining things this year may be a little bit more expensive if some of the things that will be shipped from José's place in Arizona, and some things will be shipped from where I am in Fairbanks, Alaska, then we have a higher shipping cost as well. But we're happy to do it. So just to let you know that $2,000 doesn't really equal $2,000 in profit.
Right. No. But anyway, we do this again because we love it, because it keeps us in touch with people like you who are out there listening to our show. And I've made so many friends from being in the podcast. I mean, people who I talk to, if not every other day, then maybe every week. And, people who are on my Facebook friends now and who I hope to meet one day. And it keeps us close to Clive Barker, which is great because we're Clive Barker nerds. We love to be kept abreast of all these interesting things that are coming out. And for example, this morning I was reading a copy of Hellraiser Anthology that's going to be coming out soon. But we've had a chance to read it before anybody else does, which is amazing. And we have to come up with a spoiler-free article now to post on our blog. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that, and we'll do a podcast episode about it. And so again, if you're looking for the Kickstarter, this is going to go out on audio and on video on YouTube. And so we will have that in the show notes and on a comment on YouTube, or in the description, I guess, on YouTube.
Sure.
We'll have a link to the Kickstarter to make sure that you're easily able to find it. But if you're just listening, you're not on a computer or whatever, you're just watching, you don't want to, you don't want to hunt that down, just sometime go on to Kickstarter and do a search for Clive Barker, and we'll be the #1, result. So
Hopefully.
yeah, I think so.
So, we got 4 more days. So come on, people, help us out here. And to those who have helped us out already, I thank you. But it's like, spread the word. Please spread the word. You have a friend that likes Clive Barker, let him know about, the podcast, and tell him to listen to us, and maybe he'll like it and become a supporter.
Kickstarters are usually really, really exciting in the beginning, and then kind of sleepy and boring in the middle. And then they get really exciting again at the end. So we're at the beginning of the exciting part at the end right now. So the last 4 days. So we're really excited about this, and we want to see where it goes. See what, hopefully we can sell some more t-shirts.
Yes. T-shirts. All right. Go. I put a lot of time on those things. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for joining us on this Barkercast Hangout special. And this podcast, having had no beginning, shall have no ending. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stop the broadcast.